it's preventive. It's being proactive. You want to stop the violence in Chicago, because I think Rahm is going to stop some of it by locking a lot of black men in jail, which is fine. I ain't got no problem with that, because some people need to go to jail. That's the best thing for them.
Let's define that stopping the violence. It's such a farce.
Go ahead.
All right. There's 86,400 seconds in a day. All right. What does stopping the violence mean? What if you stop it for 1 second, but it happened in second? Did you really stop the violence? So the point is, it's such a continuum that you can't clearly define it. Violence can happen anywhere. So I don't think it's really about stopping the violence as much as it is, how do we create an atmosphere where foolishness is not tolerated, where people feel value, where people feel like they have something to contribute to society. If you do those things, feeling value, contributing, the violence is going to be mitigated. Not totally stopped, but mitigated to the point where it can happen in the rich area. It can happen in Hollywood Hills. It can happen, you know what I mean, in what's the place where Lennox out in Atlanta. It can happen anywhere, but how do you shrink the possibility so much that you feel somewhat comfortable?
It comes down to parenting, brother.
Sure, no
parenting,
no
parenting. You cannot let your children run wild in the streets.
What do you say to the mom that's on drugs?
Right.
Daddy is gone. So what's your argument?
See, my thing is that I would tell the state reps, we need boarding schools. That kid needs to be taken away from that mama and sent downstate, not to prison, to boarding schools. But we want to see. I'm asking the state to save us. Right. The state ain't gonna save us. The state trying to make money.
You just said those zip codes will fight against it.
Right.
Those rural zip codes will say, no, we don't want boarding school. We want to keep what we have.
And when we're in prison, I know.
So I would say, what are your people gonna do to pull their money?
Wait. I know the first thing this summer, we gonna make a lot of girls gonna make a lot, and boys gonna make a lot of babies this summer. That's the first thing. I got teenage children.
Not just this summer, right now.
Well, right now I'm saying I got teenage children. I like that. Don't reproduce yourself. I mean, that's a cultural piece that we delay having children.
Sure.
The other things that we have an expectation of education. You going to school. If you're not going to school, you're going to learn how to fix a car like this. This car need to be worked on. My car need to be worked on. All these houses need to be worked on. You going to school.
Let me bust this education bubble. Again, just like stopping the violence. What does that mean? Education, what does that mean? It boils down to your connections. All right. Barbara Bird, I believe, had a PhD, CPS. She was the second in command under Arnie Duncan. He had a bachelor's degree. So she had more education. So if our argument is that education gonna take you there, she had more education.
Arnie Duncan's not an educator. But he's an administrator.
The point I'm making is he had a lesser degree if you go by that education, but he got the top post. Why? Because of who he knows.
Well, he got the complexion for the connection.
We got to be careful about this. Education is the key. That's partially true. You need to be equipped, but trust me, this society is built on who you know, and unfortunately, we so at the bottom of who we know.
I know, but you went to the military. Where you go, Navy?
Yeah.
You went to the Navy. Navy changed your life, saved your life.
Big time.
But a lot of
exposure.
But 2/3 of all American children can't qualify for the military.
It's not about that. We're gonna build our own vehicles to make sure that people.
Okay, wait. We can't. We gotta be. Yeah, I get delicate saying that. But I'm saying people can be. Yeah,
we gotta pull our own resources together and build what we want. Why are you sitting here always asking, Matt, come help me, help yourself?
I know, but what happened is that when you come to that mama or that grandmama and they say, "Do you want?" We gotta go there because it's never gonna change until we straighten these mamas out. Never. You say, babe, no, because mothers are the first teachers to children. The apple don't fall far from the tree.
I get
the
that.
point is that you tell that mama, the baby's 5 years old or 1 year old, right? You want your child to go to college? Well, I don't really know. I just want them to be happy. See what I'm saying? That's the problem.
So right
you want to be a doctor, lawyer, a nurse, school teacher. What you want? It's up to them.
Let's stop right there. Where did that mama? How was her life, her childhood? How did she come up? Because see, you beating down the
we got to beat her down. We got to beat her down. We got to beat her down some more.
Only unless you're in position to build up. Because beating her down gonna serve no purpose unless you're gonna hold her hand and link her with the structure that can help build her.
Well, that's where
up.
you come in.
Yeah, PRE. Remember that: prevention, resources, then enforcement. Mark is all E, y'all. If y'all haven't tell all these shows, he's all enforcement. That means accountability. Get it right. I get that. Resources got to be there. We can't give.
But see, what happened there. I was sending them to Syron, but people.
But their hearts and minds ain't
ready
yet. So I get that. So that's where the beat down makes sense. And what I'm telling you this summer, we gonna make it uncomfortable to hang out and don't be doing nothing. Because we go shine the spotlight that there are people who loving you just chilling because they know you go slip up and end up in
the hard part, like you say, is breaking the cycle. Like me, like I said, if you're trying to lose 10 pounds or 50 pounds, breaking the habits. When you have the daily living, we're almost done with the conversation, but you have the daily living habits. breaking the old habits and establishing new habits is what we're really talking about.
That's what it boils down.
That's what it's really, really hard to say. Well, you used to letting your kids stay up to 2 in the morning. Now you got to tell them go to bed at 10.
Right.
That's tough.
So psychologically, what you do whenever you go form a habit, set the expectations in a way that you don't disappoint yourself. The worst thing you can do is set unrealistic expectations, get disappointed, now you throw the whole plan out the door.
Right.
Don't do that. So we saying every Thursday health day, get out, exercise, run, jog. There's 52 Thursdays in a year. Forget that. You ain't ready for that habit yet. Say I'm going to do 12 a year. So once a month on Thursday, I'm going to do an exercise. That's a start. It's getting you conditioned with a repetitive effort that'll then start to increase over time. So instead of doing 52 Thursdays working out, do 12 for the first year, once a month. Right. That's how we do this, Mark.
I'm going to end the conversation on a positive note. It is about habits, and you need support. People say, you know, breaking habits, trying to transform your life. Most people cannot do it by themselves.
Everybody, not just blacks. That's across the board.
You can't do it by themselves. Right. You need help.
Yep.
Sometimes we need psychiatric help. Sometimes we need $5, whatever it is, but we do need help.
Yep.
But it really comes down to the foundation of all achievement is desire.
There you go. But
do you really want to do it?
Come from? Desire come from exposure. If all I know is what's in this box, how am I desire something?
Right.
And that's my point.
Right.
When we had the young person in New York City and they saw the red staircase down there in Manhattan, that made that person dream.
Well, let's explain that to. Let's say it's slow.
What?
You have taken teenagers and children, whatever, to New York City.
Sure. Since 2003.
This is Times Square. A lot of folks, they see it on television, but tell them you got to see it with your own eyeballs. But tell them you got to see it with your own eyeballs.
Big time. So here's the deal. Since 2003, our focus has been exposure. National exposure, taking children from one city to another city so that they on the road seeing cows, tigers, and bears and all that stuff along the road. No tigers. But the key is letting them see other stuff, and then when they hit that town, now they can compare and contrast. Chicago is like this, New York is like this. Now New York is similar to Chicago. They call us second city. I haven't been to New York until I was 21 years old. So there are people who are older than that who never been, and you should go. Why should you go? Because it's going to allow you to compare and contrast what life is about. If you've only been in one place, you're limited in your perspective. So these young 14, 15-year-olds at an early age, 7 years before I was able, are getting exposed to New York, to Detroit, to Milwaukee, to
you're taking young people to these cities. That's what we're trying to say. You're taking
every month.
You're trying to take these young people to these cities. I didn't go to New York. I was like 30 years old.
Yeah, I was
something
21,
stupid. That was really old.
We going to D.C. in August.
You're going again,
The third Saturday, we're going to D.C. in August before President Obama leaves. So some of these young people go get a chance to see the White House. Now they could probably stand at the gate.
Well, explain this. Look at the camera, Syron. There's people who watching this or live among us. They 40, 50, 60 years old, never been to Washington, D.C., the nation's capital.
Sure. But that don't put them down.
No, I'm not putting them down. Right. I'm saying they should try to make sure their children, their grandchildren go. If you don't want to go, your children and your grandchildren should go.
No doubt.
And people say, oh, what's that? I say, no, Atlanta and D.C. is the same distance, 700 miles.
Right.
It takes 11 hours, 12 because of time difference.
Let me make it why this is important. A young 16-year-old who mom is on drugs, daddy is gone.
Right.
He got a pistol. He hungry. His grandmama is always on him, like Mark say, always nagging him.
Yeah.
He thinking about doing the lick next Friday. He thinking about just robbing somebody.
Right.
Now that robbery that he intends just to put the gun on the senior citizen might turn into a murder because the senior might fight back. He end up shooting and killing that person. But what he envisioned as being struggling when he got that pistol is really about materialism. These shoes, the unnecessary things.
Right.
He's hungry because he don't want to eat what grandma cooked. Food is there, but he don't want to eat that. But all he know is what's around him.
Right.
He go to New York City. He ain't got to worry about eating because he go eat with the rest of us. He ain't got to worry about shelter because he's standing in a hotel. He with other young people. And now he get to see New York City. And it makes him say in the back of his mind, man, I wouldn't mind moving here. Oh, it's girls here. Oh, man, it's a little different here. So now when he come back home and he going through his moment again, he can think back and say, you know what? I ain't gonna do this because I ain't gonna be able to grow up and go to New York like I want to. Because he got exposed, it's another thought in his head that will prevent him from going out there and robbing that senior citizen. That's how deep and intricate this is, the exposure. When they are thinking, they gotta have something to reference back on. So you gotta expose them. They can't be, this is all they know. They gotta get out and go places and do things.
Explain that you have taken young people outside Chicago, and it's the first time they stayed. The first time into a hotel. Tell me how that is to a kid, man.
Yeah, that was in Atlanta last month, March 15th.
But you've done it a bunch of times.
Yeah, but this one here really touched my heart because the young guy told me, we was on the road down there, he said, I never stayed in a hotel before. I said, a motel, hotel? He said, no hotel. I said, okay, well, this is how it's going to be, and this is how it's going to work. And it's funny because most people know in hotels you can get ice in, you know, in the corridor there. So I told him to go get ice, and he was like, do I got to pay for it? I said, no, it's free. Just take the bucket, go in there, and press it in. But that was the little bitty thing, the little insight. But it's powerful. This is a 14-year-old kid, and now he was in a nice hotel. We stayed at one of our better hotels in Atlanta. So that's what it's about, exposing, you know.
Listen, I'm a grown man, and when you step up, I don't care if it's a Motel 6 or the MC Suites or whatever, I get a kick out because I don't travel like once a year or something. Yeah. So, but what I'm saying is that people say, well, I ain't got no money. Explain to folks to say, well, I know folks that ain't been to Milwaukee. Milwaukee ain't there 90 miles. Right. And like you go, in about, let me real beef in a few minutes, in a few hours, you can go to what? St. Louis, Detroit, Cincinnati. Indianapolis, Louisville, Kentucky, all these towns are like 4 or 5 hours away. You know what I'm saying?
Now look, real quick, Milwaukee, and you say this, and I applaud you on this, Mark. It's lifestyle, right? So you could be poor in Chicago, and if you move to Milwaukee, you could be poor in Milwaukee, so you're gonna see the same thing. But what we try and do is we make sure we expose them to the other lifestyle, so they stay in a better hotel with a swimming pool, so they can see what the possibility is. They was at the Sheraton in Milwaukee, in Atlanta, and they sitting there with all these people with money at the bar, drinking and having a good time, seeing the conference going on. And they like, we here too. That's right, y'all here on the Stop the Violence mission. They here on relaxation. Now we stand at the Sheraton in New Jersey, Lincoln Tunnel, New Jersey, right across from the Hudson River. New York is over there. We can afford that Sheraton compared to Manhattan Sheraton. But that's gonna enlighten them young people because they got like 16-story building. The hotel, the swimming pool's on the 4th floor there. It's beautiful, business people all around. And here go our Chicago Gary teenagers.
But every church, I know we promote your organization and everything, but every church, I know churches go on church trips. I get that. But we really got to pull the money together and get these kids out of Chicago just for the exposure. I don't care if it's the Bears camp in August and July, but down at Bourbonnais. I get in the car and go to Milwaukee, and they say, that's stupid, man. I say, no, that ain't stupid because, you know, the point is that if you go to Milwaukee, even Milwaukee, you see they have a beautiful art museum, which is something to see. It's really nice right off the lake. Yep. You go over down, not too far, it's Miller Park. Miller Park is a domed stadium. They got a stadium that the roof closes up. Retractable dome stadium. The Bradley Center's downtown where they play back. Oh, this is where the Bucks play? This is where the Bucks play. Yep. This is a major city only less than 100 miles from your house.
Yeah. It's all mindset. So yeah, that's what it's about. So that's excellent.